Welcome back to the Daughters of the Moon podcast. Both Mom and I are really grateful that you can join us today. And we're really excited to welcome today's guest, Harmony Slater. She is a spiritual teacher, somatic energetic coach, and business shaman whose work bridges ancient wisdom with modern neuroscience and nervous system science. With over 25 years of experience in meditation, yoga, and embodied healing practices, she also works with spinal energetics and light language frequencies to support deep transformation through the body and energy field. Her path includes decades of study in India, China, and Thailand, and she is one of the fewer than 20 women in the world to hold the highest level Ashtanga yoga certification. I
Good
know I
job.
wrecked that word. But beyond credentials, her work is rooted in lived experience. Having moved through anxiety, burnout, disordered eating, and autoimmune challenges, she now supports others in releasing the emotional, energetic, and somatic patterns that keep them stuck. She helps coaches, healers, and soul-led entrepreneurs create lives and businesses rooted in embodiment, not hustle. She's also the host of the Finding Harmony podcast and founder of the Light Worker Mastermind. So, welcome, Harmony. We're super excited to have you on the podcast today with
Thank
us.
you. I'm so excited to be here with you both.
So, tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got on to doing all of this stuff and
Sure. I mean, it's sort of a life calling, I guess. When you look back on your life, as I'm sure you both have had the experience, it seems like all of the little experiences or big experiences that you've had sort of have all been the pieces of a larger puzzle that brings you to where you are. And so I guess my work has a lot of it's been around the body, whether that was through ballet. I trained very seriously as a dancer when I was younger, growing up into teenage years, or early adulthood, and then also spirituality. So there was sort of this always this body spirit kind of duality running through everything I was interested in. I was raised in a deeply Christian household, so had this, um, I guess, sort of environment of God and prayer and connecting to invisible realms. My mother was actually part of the New Age movement, and transcendental meditation movement before she converted to Christianity. So we were a little bit of like a woo woo Christian household. Um, but then I went in and started studying Buddhism in comparative religious studies, and that really resonated with me because it was very much about, having a spiritual experience, but like embodied, and like what is your experience, and not needing to believe in any kind of anything other than what you were experiencing here and now, and that everyone has access to God, to spirit, to other dimensions and realms just through their breath and through their body. And so that then led me deeper into a path of yoga, which took me to India, where I went very, very deep into breath work and pranayama and the yoga asana. And all of that seemed to be working for many years. I had my own yoga studio at one point, which I sold and then started traveling and teaching internationally, and had my son, who's now almost 16. And um, and at some point, hitting middle age, as often happens, I think, especially for women, you're kind of in that sandwich stage of life of taking care of aging parents or grandparents and also raising children. And there was sort of a complete breakdown. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, and at the same time, just having very deep fatigue. And none of the practices that I'd been doing were helping. It was just like I couldn't muster up the energy, the motivation, the enthusiasm. I really felt like I was going through a very large change, and, perhaps some hormonal changes as well, entering perimenopause, and just like feeling like a deep need to shed a lot of things. And that's kind of puts you in a bit of a sort of, I guess, midlife crisis, so to speak, where, yeah, you're kind of like not sure like who you are. And even though I'd done so much work in the spiritual dimensions, studying philosophy and religion and having all of these somatic practices and, um, you know, ideas from many different traditions and ancient traditions, um, I really was kind of coming face to face with a feeling of maybe emptiness or the void or just like existential angst and really lacking direction, like feeling like I wasn't who I used to be, but not really knowing who I was becoming or where sort of this next chapter was opening into. And of course, none of it was that well thought out or formed in my mind at the time. It just felt like a lot of dis-ease. And that was also showing up in my body as dis-ease and problems. And at the time, it also really it led me sort of more into a very deep exploration of excavating my emotional past and like things that memories, events, thoughts, feelings, things that were deeply buried in my unconscious mind. So I started immersing myself in somatic psychotherapy, somatic coaching, uncovering these unconscious blocks, using the body as like a portal and a gateway to the unconscious, and doing more holotropic breathing and like just experimenting with different tools and techniques than I had previously used. And that really opened up the door for this energy work that I do now through spinal energetics, light language, as well as genius frequency work, where it's really working with your own body and the unique frequencies which are related to the elements. So it kind of all tied in with yoga and Ayurveda and the ancient, teachings of India and China, and using the elements and where those elements exist within the human structure, but then also your unique individual code, to access other realms with yourself, or of yourself, and what you're here for, what your soul purpose is, and releasing some of the trauma that's held in the body and the emotions and what's buried there, and coming into a deeper alignment with your true energetic blueprint. And so that's kind of what opened up for me and where the work led to through the body. And it really married all of that philosophy that I had been learning and studying, and even the nervous system practices, the deep states of meditation. I'd done so many meditation retreats and all of these things, all these tools I'd been working on for 20 years, kind of like shifted and started feeding into this greater expansion and awareness of the energetic field and how to help people really connect more deeply with their energetic field and their unique individual code and their body, and how to regulate not just from the mind or from like, I'm going to do these practices to feel better, but like deeply connecting to yourself and finding that regulation naturally emerges when you're connected to yourself.
That's amazing. And so much of that I could relate to, because it does seem as we kind of get into that middle age period is like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like that doesn't fit anymore what I was, and I'm not really sure where I want to go, who I want to be. So it sounds like though our bodies tell us a lot about that we can uncover. Can you tell us like
Yeah.
how can we listen to our bodies more to uncover these secrets for ourselves?
Yeah. I mean, the body really holds the key to deeper connection, not just like with ourselves, but like our ancestry, our past lives, if you believe in past lives, our lineage, our expansion. And so the body has its own language and its own frequency. And also, it's very much connected to the biofield or the energy, both inside and outside the body, because we all have energy that radiates outside of our body as well.
Right.
Um, but it interfaces with our physical self, of course, right? And so how can you use your body to connect more deeply? I think the first thing is noticing the breath. So, breath is key because breath is the one aspect of ourself that is mostly unconscious. We don't have to think about breathing ever, but we can automatically take conscious control of it whenever we want. So it's really this bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. It's very much related to our emotions as well. It's very much related to how we shift frequency from the body to the energetic field into more expansive states. Sorry. And it's also a bridge between the mind and the body, right? The mind, the emotions, and the body, because it is invisible, but it's also physical. So it's bridging these aspects of ourself, both the energetic field, which is invisible, and our physical body, which is visible. And so some of the ways can be just to start to pay attention to your breath and where you're feeling it in your body. And sometimes it's like a meditation in a way, but if you place a hand where you're feeling the breath in the body, so maybe that's the heart center, it could even just be like up here at the throat, or maybe it's down in the belly, and just start to presence the breath in the body with listening and not trying to breathe any kind of way, right? So that's also the thing that sometimes we do. As soon as we start thinking about breathing, we automatically change our breath, right? But just breathing and just noticing the natural breath and being with the breath in the body and just noticing where it's moving, where it's not moving, and just presencing where it's moving with ease. And so ease is going to feel like more expansive, more open, more abundant, and it will move. And so as you sort of presence it maybe at the belly to start with, you'll start to notice, oh, it's moving. Now it's up in my chest. You could place a hand there and presence it in the chest. Or maybe then you feel it at the back of the neck or in the throat. And so you can presence it there. And just starting to presence the breath in the body is one way that you can start to kind of have that deeper connection with yourself at a somatic level, or at the level of ease in your own body. And often we feel disconnected or dis-ease within our body, right? Which is literally not feeling at ease with our body. And I think especially as we're aging, and this is sort of an interesting kind of concept, right? As we're aging, we are not feeling comfortable with that process often, which creates dis-ease. And we start to come up with a lot of ailments, physical ailments in our body and problems. And so the more ease we can find in our body and be with our body, the more ease we can evoke within our own self, within our own physical self, then that's going to automatically start to stimulate and activate the natural intelligence that has deep healing energy within ourselves. And so that's the other thing, is we often think I need to go outside of myself to heal myself. But if you have a cut or a wound, it's not the antibiotics that you're putting on it, right? You don't even need to put antibiotics on it. It will heal itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're sick with the flu, there's nothing you can take to heal yourself. You just let your body heal itself.
Yeah.
And so we all have this innate healing potential. Our liver regenerates, our lungs regenerate, every cell in our body is completely regenerating all the time, being created anew every, I think, 7 years, right? We have a completely new system. Every cell has changed and regenerated in some way. And so this innate healing potential is within every single body. And we forget that. We think, I have to go outside of myself to make myself feel good. Or I have to go outside of myself to heal myself or make myself feel better. And of course, it's not to say that that doesn't help at times, right? You can have medical interventions, but the the thing that actually is doing the healing is within you.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that because I just think, it's funny even when you said breath, it's like you don't even realize in your day how much you forget to breathe. And when you actually said that, it was like, "Oh, have I taken a breath lately?" Like you become so much more conscious of it. So I love that you can tap into that breath to start feeling where you do have that disease or discomfort in your body and maybe ask yourself those questions, right? Of why is it that, I'm feeling this stress or this tightness in my shoulders or in my belly, or what's that trying to tell me? What's that trying to say to me? And just
Yeah.
like it sounds like what you're saying is explore the way your body's reacting through the breath and through finding that calm, centered space.
Yeah, and you can even find, I mean, there's another way that I often work with clients, and I mean, I can show you if you want to go into it here.
Yeah, I'd love to.
But so if you just close your eyes for a moment and just, yeah, just drop into your body, feel your awareness pulling back into the back of the head, and then dropping down and in to the body itself. And just notice where there's a space of ease that feels a sense of peace or a sense of abundance. And so you always have that ease to draw from. And then find a place where there might be a little bit of tension that you're holding, where you're noticing a sense of tightness or uh, a feeling of maybe dis-ease or, yeah, a pinch or a pain or something like that. Do you notice? Is there a spot like that? Just keeping your
Mhm.
eyes closed. Can you bring your hand to that spot? Hmm. So just presencing that spot. Good. And it's right there near the kind of the back of your neck, is it?
Mhm.
Yeah. So just taking the hand off that spot now, but keeping your mind on that spot. See if you can just begin with a sense of curiosity to explore. Does that area have a shape, that sensation that you're feeling? Does it have a particular shape to it?
I would say oval.
Okay. And is it a large oval or a small oval?
It's kind of, it's bigger. It's, I would say, mid-size.
The size of an egg or the size of a football?
Uh, in between those two.
Okay. And does it have a texture to it?
It feels smooth to me, almost like egg-like.
Okay. And is there a density to it?
Mm, it feels almost, it's almost like an egg, but
Hmm.
bigger.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
makes
like an
sense.
ostrich egg.
Yeah,
And does it feel thick or transparent?
feels thick.
And is it like gooey? Is it hard? Is it somewhere in between?
It's kind of hard, but yeah, it's hard. It's almost like a shell-like.
Okay. And so having this sort of like egg shell like thick area there, just stay with it and notice, is there any colors that show up as you're exploring it?
It feels like it's like an opal color
Mhm.
with a little bit of brown mixed in.
Good. And just noticing, what does the sensation feel like? Is it pinching? Is it heavy? Is it like stabbing? Is it scratchy? Is it tingling?
It's kind of like a kind of pinching, kind of tight.
Yeah. So staying with it and just follow that pinching tight sensation all the way back through your timeline. Just start to notice, when was the first time you remember having this pinching tight sensation here?
I would say as a teenager.
Is there any particular memory or instance that starts to come into your mind?
Feels like a lot of insecurity being a teenager and being in situations where I was putting myself out there and being really afraid of that.
Beautiful. Staying with that and just keep exploring and just notice if you can find yourself in one of those situations where you felt that kind of tension, that pain there. How old was that version of you?
The number I get is 13.
Beautiful. Yeah. So just dropping into that 13-year-old, having this sensation, putting herself out there, feeling insecure. Just if you can just feel what that felt like in that moment. If you could just give her the microphone and let her say her truth or what she wanted to say then, maybe she couldn't say to anyone. What would she say?
Just see me for who I am. Like it feels like I'm hiding. So I'm wearing masks to be able to hide because I don't want people to see who I am.
Beautiful. Breathe that in. Just see who I am. I want to take off the mask. I want to be seen. I want people to love and accept me for who I am. Just allow her to kind of look around. And is she in a particular space? Is there anybody there that she wants to really be seen by?
No, it feels like I'm alone, but it's an inner feeling of not being accepted by when I go out into the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, how does she hear that? Is it like nobody accepts me, nobody loves me, nobody likes me, or I'm afraid to be seen, or I'm afraid to reveal who I really am? How does she?
Yeah, I'm afraid to feel and show who I really am in case somebody doesn't like me if I speak up.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Just allowing just the presence of someone that you've always felt unconditionally accepted by, loved. Maybe it's your mother, maybe it's your grandmother,
Yeah, it
maybe
would
it's,
be my mom.
yeah. So just bring her energy into that space. It's that loving, nurturing presence. Just really let her be there. And even having that energy, sort of you now embodying that energy of your mother at that time. And just meet this part of you that really wanted to be seen and really see her. So just giving yourself that gift as you really see her, just meeting her in all of that desire to be seen, that feeling that she has to put on a mask in order to survive, that people won't love and accept her for who she is. And as you meet her, what would you say to her from this space of unconditional love and presence?
You are loved. You are seen. You are important.
Yeah. And I love you. I see you. You are so important to me. Yeah, and really see her. You're so beautiful, exactly as you are. And you don't have to be any different. You don't need to wear any masks. I see you fully. You're a miracle. Just checking in with that 13-year-old.
It feels like a peace now, like just peaceful.
Beautiful. Does she have anything that she wants to say, or she's just in a space of peace?
I think just in a space of peace, just feeling more accepted.
Breathe that in. Just let that ease, that peace just be present through your whole body. Just really letting that truth land. What are you aware of now?
I just feel such a peace over me. Just kind of almost all the aches and pains I was feeling are gone.
Beautiful, beautiful. And just check in with that space. Just notice if there's any shifts or change, and there doesn't need to be any shifts or change, but just checking in with your whole body and seeing, yeah, how it's doing now.
Yeah, I feel better actually.
And when you're ready, you can just open your eyes and come back in.
Well, that was fantastic. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just like it really taps in. I can see, hopefully people listening can try that out for themselves because, yeah, like I had a bunch of things happening and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I feel really at peace with myself. So,
Yeah. So it's so interesting because we like store these memories and these thoughts and these feelings in our body, and we're not aware of it. We all do it all the time, you know? And then when you slow down enough to kind of notice, and rather than like trying to get rid of the pain or the tension or the place that you're like, oh, that old pain again, right? But you just like slow down and be with it and start to get curious about it, and you kind of go into it. It takes you on a journey. And you're like, what was the first time I felt this? Or one of the times, it doesn't have to be the first time. If you can get to the first time, it becomes really, really powerful.
yeah.
But any of the times, you can just go and be with that part. What did that part need to hear? What did it want? What wasn't it receiving at that time? What was happening? And you bring in love, acceptance, ease, like the thing that it was looking for, you can give it to yourself now.
Yeah, and it's quite emotional. So like for
Yeah.
me it was like, "Ooh, don't cry." But
Yeah.
but honestly, that's kind of how you feel because it is that releasing, right? And
Yes.
I think that's so important for people because I think we don't even realize how much junk we hold on to from our past or from a
Yeah,
past life, from, all of these
totally.
things,
Yeah.
and they affect us today, right?
Yeah, and it's so much of it is the emotion that we're storing in our body, and we're not really taught to feel and be with our emotions. And a lot of the times it's not safe to feel or be with the emotions or to show the emotion or to experience it. And so we like close it up and put it in a little, egg and bury it somewhere in our somatic body or in our energetic field, which always correlates to the body. And so you can go in through the body and release it in the field as well. And
Yeah.
so it's often very emotional because most of the aches and the pains are related to our emotions as much as they're related to our mind or our history.
Yeah, and I love that. And I think the more we delve into that, the more, you know, when you feel that little shift, then it makes you think, oh, what else can I explore,
Yeah.
right? Like, and then that's how I look at it, like kind of exciting, right? Like, what else can I explore? What else can I get rid of? And I think that would help, especially people that are kind of in this mid age where they're like, where do I go from there? If you can start tapping into that stuff, you can be like, well, that's no longer what I want to be, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want
And
to
it's
do this.
really helpful. It's really helpful to do. It's just so healing, and until we heal all of those parts of ourselves and really truly accept them and bring them into wholeness, right? Bring them
Mhm.
into ourselves rather than trying to like push them away or forget about them or reject them or get rid of them. But we're just like, oh, yeah, you're here. Come, you're welcome, right? And welcoming it rather than trying to change it or yeah, cut it away and off from ourselves, right?
Yeah.
But like really bring it into wholeness. Then healing happens because healing's dis-ease is disconnection, and connection is coming back together, right? Bringing
Yeah.
things into wholeness, this reformation of ourselves.
Exactly. Do you think that that's why, like, as we're kind of traveling on, that we kind of numb ourselves, however that is, with TV, with, alcohol, drugs, whatever anybody's numbing themselves with, kind of zoning out because it's hard to face that truth sometimes about what we're holding on to?
Think so. Yeah. I think like especially I think this is why it becomes really important to do this work as you're entering into midlife or as you're aging because it does accumulate. I think that's why our bodies start to really feel pain and kind of break down as we're aging is because all of this stuff that we've like buried inside of ourselves and that we've carried from our past if we haven't dealt with it, if we haven't attended to it or felt the feelings all the way through, it, it's a lot. It's like we have a bag and we just keep putting stuff in it and like, oh, I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later. And all of a sudden we're like weighed down by all the things we haven't really looked at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it is really important that we start to do it, especially as you age, because it allows you to take the things out of the bag and just like look at it and be with it. And it feels maybe a little bit intimidating or frightening or like I don't want to look at it, right? But once you do, you're not that person anymore. You're not that 13-year-old anymore. But she's still there thinking that like having all those thoughts and feelings that she couldn't
Yeah.
express at that time and they're affecting you unconsciously in some way,
Yeah.
but you're not her anymore. And so you can listen to her and you can be with her and you can say, hey, it's okay. I love you. And you can be seen and you can really bring her into the present moment, which is now. So she stops living there, literally like on your back, right? And she
Yeah.
comes with you. And then all of a sudden you're not affected by those old thoughts and feelings the same way because
Hmm.
you've seen it and you've acknowledged it. And so you can like kind of start taking things out of the backpack and that starts to free up so much more energy because all those things that we're holding in our body, all those memories and thoughts and feelings and traumas, we really they're like little pockets of energy that are like stagnant, like little um sacks, filled with energy that's bound up. And as you release it, that opens up the energy. So now instead of feeling tired and exhausted and overwhelmed all the time, right? Just like, oh, like, your energy starts to get kind of clogged up. It opens up and now it starts moving more freely and you have a lot more vitality also. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I think, I mean, to answer your question, I think that is a lot of why we kind of go into numbing patterns is there's a lot of stuff kind of accumulating and it feels like I really don't want to deal with that. And so it gives us a way to check out. And so we don't have to deal with it, but it doesn't make it go away. It's all still there in the morning, as we all know, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think it would be amazing if we could teach these young women that are,
Yeah.
now, well, even just teenagers, right? Like how to breathe into this and how to just, release it then instead of having, and I think that's kind of how our world is actually going now. We're starting to teach these younger and younger children, both girls
Mm-hmm.
and boys, here's how to release it so you don't have to carry that with you and have this
Yeah.
baggage that we don't really need.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's so many more tools and so much more awareness around this work. I've met some incredible, like 18-year-olds, 21-year-olds that are like really doing some very amazing, deep healing work. And I mean, there's just so much more access to
Yes.
information and tools and people who are doing this deeper healing work now than ever before. I mean, when I was, 16, 18, yoga was barely a thing, and now it's like football players in the NFL are doing yoga, it's like, okay,
Well,
the
people
world
are
has
seeing.
changed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, people are seeing how that really does help center us and, bring
yeah,
us some peace and be able to use it to, create that manifestation of this is how I'm going to play ball today or whatever,
exactly.
right? Like there's just
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
power in
And
that.
when you think even like meditation, right? Meditation was like something weird that, maybe monks did or something, right? Now, like everyone's like, meditation's so good for you, and everyone's meditating or trying to, right?
Right, exactly. No, I think that's so good, and I love that you explain that, and thank you for putting me through that
Yeah.
journey because I think that will help people to see how to do it for themselves, and hopefully even they were following along with their own journey. So I think
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
important, and
Good.
you're just so much, you have such a great energy about you. I
Thank
just
you.
really appreciated this conversation. So can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, definitely. You can find me at where? My website, harmonyslater.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Harmony Slater Official and send me a message. We can get in touch and you can listen to my podcast called Finding Harmony. So that's where you can find me is on Finding Harmony.
That's perfect. I love
Yeah.
it. That was a perfect name for you because
Right.
I just feel like that's the energy that you kind of vibrate out into the world is a really sense of harmony. So
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that. If you
Luckily,
had
my mother was in her new age stage when she had me.
perfect. That's perfect. If you had a final thought to leave with us and everybody in our community, what would it be?
I think it's like, I just feel like, middle age and like as you age, I feel like it's such a beautiful, powerful stage of life. And I think if, in the West, especially, we have this misconception that we become less relevant or like weaker or more frail or more um less powerful, I think, as we're aging. And I really want to encourage listeners to turn that around and recognize that it's actually when you enter your power. And up until like this sort of middle age point is just you like like accumulating gifts, accumulating knowledge, accumulating your life experience, and that the fruit of that accumulation and like stepping into your full power happens actually as you age, and that you don't get weaker or less capable, or like you're not actually deteriorating. That's only because you're thinking that way, that you're actually getting more powerful and more attuned and more sensitive to the world if you're willing to open up to it and like just do this little shift in your mind and in your energy, and also like be brave and go back and do some of the healing work, because that's what opens up the power. That's what makes you so powerful, is all of that stuff is that was in your past and in your life. It was all there so that you can be powerful now.
Mhm.
When you go back and you just meet it and be with it, it's amazing because it frees up that energy in your system, and then you're like, I mean, you're living your best life as you age, actually.
Yeah.
So that's my
Yeah.
final thought.
I love that. I love that. And it's funny because now I actually said that to somebody the other day. I'm like, I think I'm just like in my hippie era now. I
Yeah.
just don't care anymore. I'm just gonna be me and dress how I want to dress and do what I want to do. And if you're along for my ride, that's great. And if you're not, also okay too, right? But
Yeah. Totally. Totally. And it's so liberating. It's so freeing.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. It
Yeah.
really is. Well, it's been so much fun. So thank you so much for being on the podcast with us.
Yeah.
She was
Thank
here
you so
briefly.
much. Yeah, you're
And
welcome.
we'd love to have you back anytime. So thank you so much, Harmony.
Thank you. Your mom was here in spirit, so we called
Yes,
her in.
exactly. Exactly. And everybody else, we will see you on the next one.